Hello everyone. You are on the channel. It's funny to tears. Get ready, because today we are diving headfirst into the glorious, absurd, and downright hilarious world of funny costumes. We've all been there, right? That one friend who shows up to the party dressed as a giant inflatable T-Rex, struggling to get through the doorway. Or maybe you've seen those incredible homemade costumes that are so clever, you just have to applaud the sheer genius behind them. From Halloween heroes to convention champions, people's creativity with costumes knows no bounds. We're going to explore some of the most legendary, laugh-out-loud funny costumes ever captured on camera. These are the outfits that don't just win Best Costume, they win the entire internet. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and prepare to have your sides splitting. Let's get this laughter party started. First up on our tour of comedic couture is the masterpiece of low-budget cosplay. You know what I'm talking about. It's when someone decides they want to be a famous movie character, but instead of spending hundreds of dollars, they use whatever they can find in their kitchen drawers and recycling bin. I once saw a guy who wanted to be Iron Man. Did he have a high-tech suit? No. He had red pajamas, a bunch of yellow sticky notes arranged perfectly to mimic the armor plates and for the arc reactor, a blue bicycle reflector taped to his chest. The dedication, the resourcefulness. It was magnificent. Another classic is the C-3PO, made entirely out of gold-painted cardboard boxes. The person could barely walk, waddling around like a robot penguin, but did they commit to the bit? Absolutely. It's this kind of creative problem-solving that turns a simple costume idea into a legendary moment of pure comedy. It proves you don't need a Hollywood budget to be a star. You just need a roll of duct tape and a wild imagination. Now let's talk about a category that never fails to deliver: pun-based costumes. These are for the clever wordsmiths, the people who love a good play on words and aren't afraid to make everyone around them groan and then laugh uncontrollably. Picture this. Someone walks into a room wearing a black and white striped shirt, a mask, and carrying a bag of spices. What are they? A Spice Girl? No, they're a spice burglar. Get it? Or how about the person dressed as a loaf of bread covered in gold medals? They're purebred. It's so wonderfully silly. My personal favorite has to be the duo who dressed up as a Post-it note and a ghost. They went around all night sticking the Post-it to people and then having the ghost yell, "Boo!" They were a Post-it note ghost or a post ghost. It takes a second, but when it clicks, it's brilliant. These costumes are like a walking, talking dad joke, and we are absolutely here for it. It's a reminder that sometimes the smartest humor is also the simplest, and a good pun is always in style. Let's move on to the masters of illusion, the people who use costumes to create mind-bending and hilarious visuals. We're talking about those outfits that make you do a double take and ask, wait, what am I even looking at? A perfect example is the person being carried by an alien costume. You've seen it. It looks like a little green alien is carrying a person in a box, but the wearer's actual legs are in the alien's legs, and the human part is a dummy. It's so effective and so funny, especially when they start running around. Or the headless man carrying his own head on a platter. It's a classic for a reason. It's a bit spooky, but mostly just ridiculously funny to see someone casually walking around holding their own talking head. And we can't forget the group costumes that create an even bigger illusion. I saw a group of friends who lined up to look like a human roller coaster. Each person was a car, and they moved in sync, complete with screams and hands in the air. The coordination required is impressive, but the payoff is pure comedic gold. Another fantastic category is the everyday object costume. Why be a superhero when you can be a fully functional vending machine that actually dispenses candy? The commitment is just astounding. I saw a picture of a guy who dressed up as a tube of toothpaste. He was literally a giant cardboard tube, and he'd made a cap for a hat. The best part? He had a friend with him dressed as a giant toothbrush. They were inseparable all night. It's the kind of absurdity that just makes life better. Then there are the people who embody our favorite foods. The human-sized slice of pizza, complete with pepperoni pillows. The person who is a walking, talking bunch of grapes, made from dozens of purple balloons, who has to navigate doorways sideways. Or the avocado, where the person's belly is perfectly positioned as the pit. These costumes celebrate the mundane and turn it into something extraordinary and hilarious. It's a special kind of genius to look at a rubber chicken and think, yes, that is what I will be for Halloween, and we salute you for it. Of course, we have to talk about pet costumes. Because if dressing ourselves up is funny, dressing up our furry friends is a whole new level of adorable and hysterical. There's nothing funnier than a bulldog dressed as a tiny businessman, complete with a little tie and a briefcase. He looks so serious, like he's on his way to a very important meeting about dog biscuits. Or the cat who has to suffer wearing a lion's mane, looking utterly regal and completely unimpressed at the same time. You can just hear it thinking, I am a majestic predator and you have put this ridiculous fluff on my head. Just wait until 3 a.m. The best ones are when the pet and owner coordinate. I saw a woman dressed as Little Red Riding Hood, and her golden retriever was the big bad wolf, wearing a grandma's bonnet. It was perfect. And who could forget the dogs dressed as superheroes, with tiny capes flapping in the wind as they run? It's pure, unfiltered joy. They may not know what's happening, but they look incredible, and we are so grateful for their contribution to comedy. Let's not forget the group costumes, where the whole is truly funnier than the sum of its parts. When a group of friends commits to a theme, magic happens. I'm talking about the squad that dresses up as the different characters from a classic video game, like Mario Kart. You've got Mario, Luigi, Peach, and someone inevitably gets stuck being Toad. Or the group that recreated the entire cast of a beloved TV show. Imagine seeing the entire gang from The Office walk into a party. You've got a Dwight with the perfect glasses and mustard yellow shirt, a Michael with his world's best boss mug, and a Pam with her signature cardigan. It's like a crossover episode in real life. One of the most creative group costumes I've ever seen was a group who dressed up as a set of Russian nesting dolls. They made their costumes in decreasing sizes and would periodically line up to fit inside one another. The visual gag was just perfect. It's this teamwork and shared sense of humor that elevates a good costume idea into an unforgettable, legendary experience for everyone who sees it. And finally, we pay tribute to the costume fails. The moments where the ambition was high, but the execution, well, it went a little sideways. And the result was accidentally hilarious. This is the person who tried to make a glorious eagle costume, but it ended up looking more like a confused chicken. Or the attempt at a scary monster that just looks sad and droopy. There's a certain charm to these fails. It's the "you tried" star of the costume world. I remember seeing a photo of someone who wanted to be a cloud. They glued cotton balls all over a white jumpsuit. The problem? It was a humid night. By the end of the evening, their fluffy cloud had deflated into a sad, clumpy mess. They looked less like a cloud and more like a soggy marshmallow, and you can't help but laugh, not at them, but with them. Because at the end of the day, the point of a funny costume isn't about perfection. It's about having fun, being creative, and not being afraid to look a little bit silly for the sake of a good laugh. So from clever puns to low-budget masterpieces, from mind-bending illusions to adorable pets in tiny outfits, the world of funny costumes is a bottomless source of joy and laughter. It's a celebration of creativity, wit, and the wonderful human desire to not take ourselves too seriously. These costumes are more than just clothes. They are wearable jokes, conversation starters, and the creators of memories that have us all saying, "Remember that time?" It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to connect with people is to share a laugh, and what better way to do that than by dressing up as a giant taco? The dedication and humor on display are truly what makes this channel, It's Funny to Tears. What's the funniest costume you've ever seen or worn? Let us know in the comments below. We would absolutely love to hear your stories. Maybe we'll even feature some of the best ones in a future video. Thank you so much for joining us on this hilarious journey today. If you enjoyed the video and had a good laugh, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the fun. We've always got more laughs in store for you. Until next time, stay silly and keep laughing. Bye, everyone.